If you're preparing for the Cambridge C1 and you want to practice more of the reading exam, especially if you have common problems like freezing, not knowing what the answer is for sure, or just running out of time, then this video has some tips and examples to give you the confidence that you need. Now then, it's time to actually do some examples and see some advice on how to do better. Here's our first example, and it's all about keywords in the question. We've got a question down at the bottom, and we've got 4 short sentences. In the real exam, you have 4 paragraphs, but we're just going to do some short sentences for now. You can pause the video if you need to, read the question, and then read the sentences, and try to take a guess, okay? Try to figure out who has the different opinion. Okay. Now you've had your time to hopefully make a guess if you pause the video. We're going to move towards the answer. First, please pay attention. The question is not asking who likes pizza or who doesn't like pizza. That's a really common mistake for students here. It's asking about their opinion on the popularity of pizza. So if we have a look at the real example, some people might actually say C is the answer, okay? They might say C because C hates pizza. But it's not about who likes or hates pizza, it's all about the popularity of pizza. So the real correct answer is actually D. Even though D loves pizza, they think that it's really underrated, it's a hidden gem, and they wish more people liked it. So D is the person here who has the different opinion on the popularity of pizza. Hopefully you got that one right. And the point of this activity is to show you should underline and highlight the key words in the question. Okay? It really helps if you can highlight popularity pizza, not just pizza. It really changes the question. We're going to move on to a different technique. So first you've seen highlighting keywords in the question. Next, we're going to look at this example. So the question is, what is the reviewer's opinion on the frequency of rain in England? Well, before we do this question, you should think about what are the key words, and secondly, can you think of any synonyms the text may say? Because the text probably won't repeat the same keywords, it will probably use different words. In this case, the key words, hopefully you got it right, they're going to be frequency, rain, England. Those are the key words to watch for in this question. Instead of reading the whole text, try to just scan for these possible words. So we're looking for frequency, rain, England, but maybe the text doesn't say frequency. Could you think of any other words it might say? It could be something like often, or always, or never, or sometimes. So don't just look for the word frequency, look for other words that could be connected to this topic. Now then, we're going to actually try to complete this question, okay? Here we've got one long paragraph, and we've got our question at the bottom. What is the reviewer's opinion on the frequency of the rain in England? Okay, you can pause the video, take some time here, okay? Try to read it, but don't read every word. You will waste lots of time if you read every word. Focus on scanning for just those frequency words, maybe anything about the rain as well, okay? Pause the video. Have a little read. Okay, time up then. Hopefully you've found the answer and hopefully it didn't take you too long. Here is the correct answer. Okay, when we're scanning, I'm looking for frequency rain or showers. Okay, this is a word that describes a type of rain in English. And it says constant part of everyday life. Hopefully you got this question correct. The reviewer's opinion is that Rain is frequent in England. In fact, it's a constant part. And in fact, it's raining outside my house right now as I'm recording this video. So this is completely true. It has been raining every single day in England in 2026 so far. But okay, that was that, alright? So in the exam, we highlight keywords in the question, we think about possible synonyms, and we scan the text. You don't want to be distracted by all this other information. It's going to take you a long time to read all of the text. We don't have a lot of time in the exam, so we only want to actually read the things that are connected to the question. Final tip, take lots of notes. In the real exam, you have 4 paragraphs to be reading, so don't rely on your memory. Take lots of notes. What would you write as your note for the previous question? How would you remember that reviewer's opinion? For me, I would just write A constant. You don't need to write long sentences, don't waste time. Just write one word to help you remember their opinion. For me, I'd write constant, and that will help when I have to compare with the other opinions in the reading. So, to recap all of this advice, some useful techniques are to highlight the keywords in the question, to consider possible synonyms once you've highlighted them, then you scan the text and you're only looking for those key ideas, those synonyms. You don't read all of the paragraph. Once you have found those ideas, then you can read that area of the text in detail to make sure you properly understand it. You highlight evidence in the text, and you take notes so that you can remember the reviewer's opinion. Lastly, once you have all of your notes and your evidence from the text, you can make your decision on that question. I hope these tips have helped you. And you can stop watching here if you want to, because it's already been a bit of a long video, but I'm going to do an example real question next, so you can stay and you can watch me do that question, and you can try to complete it together with me if you'd like, actually. So I will include a link in the description below for the activity that I'm about to do. You can try doing it before me, and you can try comparing with me. I'm going to go to that link now. Here we have a part 6 question. They are extracts from biographies on a political leader, but to be honest, we don't really care what it's about. That doesn't affect us. The first thing we do, of course, is we do not read the whole text. We go to the first question, and I'm only going to do one question to demonstrate here. Who has a different opinion from the others on the extent to which the subject was personally responsible for problems caused by his policies? Alright, there's a lot of complicated words and it's difficult even for me, an English person. So, I'm going to read it slowly and highlight the key words. Okay, the extent, that means how much, okay, the distance something happened or the amount something happened. To which the subject, okay, that must be the person it's talking about, was personally responsible for problems caused by his policies. Now, we've got our key words. Pay attention. We're focusing on the problems from his policies. How much was he personally responsible for them? Okay, we're not focused on the good things, not about the great things his policies did, but only about the problems. Now, I'm going to scan the text looking for any possible words like responsible, problems, bad things, negative, consequences, anything that could be connected to the ideas. We'll start with paragraph A, and I'm just scanning, I'm just looking for responsible. Well, look here, tremendous progress. That's a good thing. So, these are the good things, not the bad things. Okay, many of the problems. So, now I see the word problems, I start paying attention to this area. That resulted from his time in office can be laid at his door, and there were repercussions he should have foreseen. Okay. I have all the information I need. In this question, I would write down in my notes, A thinks he is responsible because he should have foreseen those repercussions. Next, we move to B, and again, I'm just scanning for problems and responsible. Well, positive, no, not that section. Now, unfortunately, I actually didn't see the negative thing. Maybe I scanned a bit badly. Okay, I should scan again, and that happens sometimes. It's okay. Disasters, okay, maybe this sentence. Circumstances beyond his control. Okay. So this paragraph seems to be saying that circumstances beyond his control, that's things we can't control, things we can't help, turned them into disasters. So actually, in this question, it says that it wasn't his responsibility, it wasn't his fault. So in my notes, I write B, not responsible. We can come to C. Again, scanning for problems, responsible. Okay, I see the words, he was at fault. Yep, okay. And I can see this part says on the positive side, so this part of the paragraph will all be positive, but we can see paragraph C believes that he was at fault. He was responsible for the problems. So C, I'm going to write, he was responsible. Now, by this point, I can see that A and C both agree he's responsible, and B say he wasn't responsible. So I can already see that B will be the correct answer. But in the exam, you shouldn't just take a random guess. You should continue just to check all of the possible options. So even though I think B is the correct answer, I'm going to read D just in case. Reading D, scanning for problems, responsible. Okay, look here. He should have accepted. Okay. So I can see that this person believes his policies were not working and he should have accepted that a change was required. D also believes he was responsible for his policies. So the person with the different opinion will be paragraph B. You can check. There we go. B is the correct answer. So I hope with these tips and with the example that I've just demonstrated that you can really see how we can approach part 6 in a very logical, structured way that makes it easier to get the correct answer and makes it faster to get the correct answer. You save a lot of time just reading the whole text, and instead you only read the parts of the text that are connected with the question. Thank you for watching the video, and I really hope that it has helped teach you something.